She Diaries. If you're just tuned in, welcome to Cappy Talk, and you're tuned into The Pulse. The name is Becky K, and I'm with you from 12 until 3 o'clock. Normally, we have lots of fun on this show, and if you're hiding and chilling kumateres, you just better come out. No Buddha chet. Right, let's get into our She Diaries for today. We always have amazing women that come on the show and they showcase what it is that they're doing, what they're working on. And not only do we get to know what they're working on, but we also take a little peek into their lives and how they got to where she is a marriage and family therapist, a mental health and addiction counselor, an author, a human resources practitioner, and an accountant by profession. She trained the holder of a Master's of Science in Leadership and Change Management. Guys, please help me welcome to the Pulse, Tendai A. Piri. And the crowd goes, yeah.
Thank you very much, Becky. Thank you. I'm truly honored. Yes. I really am, and I'm humbled. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you.
It's so good to have you. I love having, this moment with different kinds of women from all walks of life, because every time after the interview, they show me my notes.
Right.
And then the person, right. What am I adding to my own personal growth? What am I changing? What am I doing? There was one lady we spoke to like right at the beginning of the year, and this lady was 65 years old.
Wow.
She just she recently lost her husband, and then she discovered, no man, I need to do something with myself. I was always dependent on this. At 65, driver's license.
Wow.
A degree. She went back to school, and I was sitting here and I'm like, Becky,
what are you doing?
What are you doing with yourself? So, it pushed me in certain directions and, making the right choices to improve. So I know for sure today is a good
Today
day.
Is the day.
Today is the day. Right. So Tendai, let's get into how you started off today.
All right.
What was your morning like? What's Tendai's morning routine?
Usually I strive to wake up at 4:30, depending on what time ndararanguvai.
Okay.
Yes.
Kunyora my notes.
All right.
4:30.
4:30, Becky. I run a WhatsApp Bible study group.
Okay.
So we will be studying like my Bible chapters every day. So today, for this time, actually currently we're studying from the book of Deuteronomy. You should study that book. Nastete chapter 15, Becky.
Okay.
About hama yako kana yakukwereta, about the 7 years. Ingoti ndakupa mari. In the 7th year release, when the Lord's release. So you're thinking of your siblings, of amazakwanzi, as long as you know, kuti anoshaiwa, ana mupe. So I thought, really, how many when my families are having and because of maybe akakoretesa mningina akakoretesa neighbor, and because arikushaiwa akatadza kumudzosera. So that was today's word. And then after that, personal development. Wow, these days I love listening to Florence Scovision.
Okay.
She inspires me.
Is she a preacher?
She's a writer with mindset coaching.
Oh, I love those.
Yeah.
I listen to Terry Savelle.
All right.
I listen to Terry Savelle. I recently bumped into her content.
All right.
Because I don't know. I think our phones, honestly, they link to our brain somehow.
Wow.
Or when we talk,
exactly,
it then depicts, this is the type of content that this person wants. So I can go pop her up on one of my YouTube searches or like suggestions. Could you try this?
Try this, yes.
I've been listening to Terry Savelle. Like she talks about waking up early also.
Wow.
But 4:30, madam. 4:30.
I think it's because of my diary. Because not only that, usually on the threshing floor.
Right.
Yeah, Pastor Batsi. So
right.
Instead of waking up at 12 midnight, I do it at that. I need that hour as well. So it's all for my personal growth, spirituality, so that I'm ready for the day.
Oh my God. Okay, so 4:30 you are up.
Yes.
And you do your Bible study.
Yes.
And then you get into your personal development where you're listening to Florence.
Yes, Florence Conversation. And so Bible study, after Bible study, then I go to the threshing floor, right?
Which is like your prayer time.
Yeah, it's a prayer time as well. And then after that, Florence Conversation. And I get ready for work.
Okay, and at what time is this now when you're like, right now I'm getting ready
Now
for
I'm
work?
getting ready for work. Around about 6 o'clock.
Okay, so
Around about
you
6 o'clock.
you have like a good 2 hours
Yes,
that you are
exactly.
doing this, two and a half
Exactly.
hours where you're like,
Yes, yes.
this is for
My me
me.
time. Yes.
Wow, I've learned recently that if you want to learn from people that you don't see every day,
All right.
learn their patterns.
Okay.
That's why I always ask, how did you get ready for
All
today? What do you
right.
do
All
on an everyday
right. On an
basis?
everyday
And then
basis.
if I
All
can
right.
do it, I'll do it.
Please.
4:30. I'm not promising.
No, it depends on the time that you leave, Kumba. Because like I also have to do school run. And the school where our daughter goes to, they're very strict on time.
Okay.
She has to be in the gate by 7:25.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So at least we have to be leaving home by 7
Mhm.
7 a.m. And I also want to at least have Bible study with my kids, share what I would have,
Yeah.
what I would have started on in the morning. Because this is the only time, that I have with them, like in the morning.
Right.
Because I have a busy diary, I want to balance family life, work, counseling,
know, right?
and everything. So every hour matters.
I like that. So let's
Yeah.
get into the many hats that you wear. And you spoke about,
Yeah.
getting work done, taking the kids to school,
Yeah.
and then now you've got counseling sessions. This is
Yes.
you in people's lives. This is people
Yes.
pouring
Yes.
themselves into you. How do you
Yes.
protect yourself from the energies that they bring?
You know what? I like the program that I'm with. I'm in affiliate with TIMFA. TIMFA is an acronym for the Institute for Marriage and Family Affairs.
Okay.
The assessment, the way we assess our clients, it doesn't drain energy from me. It doesn't at all. Because first and foremost, I do the personality test. So it's their personality, which is totally different from my personality.
Right.
If it's their weaknesses, it's their weaknesses. It's not my weaknesses. If it's their strengths, it's their strengths, not my strengths. And when I'm looking at their childhood, their mom and dad university, their history, it's their history, not my history. Not my history. So I really like the way we assess, because it focuses on your client, because you're trying to look at the root cause of their problem. And it's not my problem. And I remember when we're in counseling school, when they were training us, they would always say, whose problem is it? Whose problem is it? It's their problem.
So they actually teach you how to detach.
Yes, we call it fatigue. The counselor's fatigue.
Oh,
so they actually teach us to detach. And even when you're looking for solutions, you don't impose a solution on a client. No, they are the ones who are in the problem. They know the solutions that work for them. You help them to come up with the best solution.
Oh my God, I feel like I want to sit down and have just a a session with you. I do coaching. I do confidence coaching. And with the confidence coaching, I've learned how to detach myself from what the client is going through, because he never problem and then now I want to be like, how can I help this person? But with the way you have described it, I'm thinking it's a gift.
That's God's grace, Becky, and I'm really grateful, because most of the times what clients tell us, they are symptoms. Symptoms. Hey, look for the root cause of the problem. So during the assessment, the first session, actually, when you're assessing for the root. What could be the root problem of this? And the root problems, there are 5 major ones.
All right.
Your personality, right? Your personality, and then number 2, your mom and dad university, your history. So it's not your history. My history is different from yours, Becky, right? And then unfulfilled expectations. So sometimes we have very high expectations, some of them legitimate ones, actually. And when they are not fulfilled, sometimes it becomes a source of problems. And then incompatibility, if it's in couples or even with parents. Maybe our personalities, because we don't know our personality differences, we perish for lack of knowledge. It becomes also an area of problem. And then inability to adapt. Things just happen. We don't have control over, especially today. We can even say today's weather. Yes, you've planned it. You woke up early. You planned your day, but you don't have control over the weather. You don't have control over people. You don't have. So you need to know.
So you must know the things that you are able to control and things that you cannot control. And then let go. Like, let's keep it moving.
Yeah, exactly. So our problems come from those 5 major areas. Yes, there are various other ones, especially like for marriage, foundation, the reason for marriage, the purpose for marriage.
Right.
If it's a wrong one, it also causes problems. So there are about five major ones, although there are other various ones.
Let's look into history.
Yes.
What part of your childhood made you learn certain things that you still practice now in your adulthood?
Into my adult. You know, Becky, I really want to thank God because of the parents that He gave me.
Hallelujah.
Yes, and so because when I look at my childhood, everything that I was doing literally kumba, most of it I'm doing now. It has actually been magnified now, because with mom and dad, I'm the eldest of 7 children. So being the eldest, my mom was she was an authoritarian, especially to me, because Nainzi, you are the firstborn. Ndikakutadza iwewe vamwana vese 7 and vagone.
So I know the firstborn drama. I'm a firstborn. Exactly. And sometimes I'm just like mutoro uyu.
Saka murubene mukadzi vakashingirira. They tried their best and they brought me. They brought up me. They groomed me and nurtured me in the way that I had to go according to biblical principles.
Right.
So Bible study, it was every morning Bible study with my dad. Every morning, because my dad was he had a very busy diary as an MD of a very big company then. So we would have Bible study with him in the morning. So even now, I strive to have Bible study with my kids.
And then so you then carried it.
Yes, I carried it. Yeah, and then in the evenings it was Bible study with mommy because we did So in the evenings when I have time, when I'm not counseling online, I also try to have Bible study with my kids. Then choir every Saturday it was our family choir. And my father was the choir master, so the choir started from our home, and then years in the church. Now I've been a choir mistress for 23 years for a local congregation. I'm still doing it now, but it's something that I didn't go to any college music at all, but not to teach, I to reading my notes to imba first, second, best tenor. That came from my father and mother.
Yeah.
Wow. The word in my life. But I love the pulpit, Becky. But it all came from my mom and dad.
Did you ever see yourself like at the pulpit or as a child? What did you want to be?
All I knew was, Pananda Kuchaga, like a life partner. The Lord has put so much in me. Sandudamun who appreciates me. And I don't accept her with all that the Lord has put in me. I don't see
because it can go south.
Yeah, but so at the pulpit, and kind of 6,000, kind of 10,000 people. I love the pulpit, and the Lord gives me the word. And when I look at it, it's things that were instilled. Mandiri na baba vangu na mewa. Yes, now in the college no theology, but yanga kuzongozadzisa zvazo already what had been put in me. So, and then also kushanda in being industrious. So my father was on the professional side, making sure you are reading every time. You'd say, if you stop reading, if you stop learning, stop teaching. Because you get reaching every day. So you have to be on the ball. Even you must always be learning so that you keep my trends as repeating. You really believed in leadership development and even counseling as well. My father really loved counseling, and even my mom. I remember when she went to theological college then, and you would always say, counseling teacher in Israel. That is my father, and I didn't know. So somebody was reminding me, Ngati Marie Vakaita, like what he did with David and Solomon. My father was not allowed to do it professionally. But like David, you are not going to work at the temple, but your Solomon is your child. So it's things that I learned from childhood, but they've all have been magnified. Mandiri, and I'm really thankful to the Lord.
No, those are beautiful childhood lessons. And I've also learned that with some childhood traumas and problems that happen, they either make or break an individual.
That's
and with what you have just said, because I've seen people who've gone through childhood trauma and they're well in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, and they're still, living a life as if they're 13 and 18 years old. Traumas that were haunting them in that phase. Yeah.
Becky, you know, when I did mental health and addiction, because with TIMFA I did marriage and family counseling, and then they also trained me in mental health and addiction. Part of my dissertation, younger, to interview the youth. Becky, ndakarwadziwa ndopakazoita kuti ndide counselor and train people in marriage and family counseling because of all the youth that I interviewed, all of them. You know what the root cause is?
What's the root cause?
Vamotofunga kuti peer pressure. Vamotofunga kuti economy yeZimbabwe. You know, we think of those. As parents, we are pointing fingers at everyone, but not pointing fingers at us. All of them dysfunctional families.
No.
All of them dysfunctional families.
Even the ones that look like they're affluent and everything is
imagine
dysfunction somewhere.
Where's for vafundis? We are on the pulpit to kuparidza kuchechi takabatana himbo kutuita kunge all is well, but kumba chikristu kumba achiko. And they're wondering, so these miracles nekuparidza kuita ndezvevamwe here, why are they not? So ipapo zvakandibata, wow. So if we're talking about substance abuse, we need to talk about family first. Because when I read that support, mom is absent, dad is absent. Manarutanga maybe a parent. Actually, manam is looking after other siblings, making sure so as a coping mechanism, substance abuse, pachayo, it's a symptom. Remember, we need to look at the root cause. Yes. It's a symptom. They have damaged emotions. What should we just say? And then as a coping mechanism, they either take substance. There are various things. The youth. It's only that substance abuse it would stand out because we are nyanya and its effects are nyanya. But my addictions akawanda that are coming are because it's a coping mechanism.
0719100404. That is our WhatsApp number, and you can get in touch with us on our WhatsApp platform. And also, if you're watching on Facebook, you can send through your comments on Facebook. When we do get a chance, we'll go through them and read out some questions or contributions or comments that you have for Mama Tendai A. Piri, who is our She Diaries guest. Human resource. Mukati and the therapist. Inini wachona ndatopinda mu HR sota zvima kambani.
So I actually started off as an accountant. I joined my current employer right from A level. They wanted my interns.
Wait, you said current?
My current, yes.
So from A level?
From A level.
Till now?
Till now, 32 years. Yes, there were moments when I wanted but the Lord kept me, Nyasha.
Nyasha, 30 what?
32 years, yes.
In the same place?
Yes.
And there was room. Okay, obviously you wouldn't stay in a place if there was no room for growth or if there wasn't something that is challenging you to to sharpen you. So 32 years worth it?
Yes, worth it. And I'm grateful. I am
because
grateful.
I don't see my 30.
Yeah, I actually got there in the Chirim scan and you stay and I got married. My eldest is now a doctor.
Yeah.
Same place. The second one is a cricketer. Same places they are in the youngest.
How many kids do you have?
I have 3. We've been blessed with 3 children.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful.
So I think it was the Lord's design because there were times when I really wanted it out. And I don't know my application letter. But the Lord has kept me. For what reason? I don't know. So
Sarah, wait.
Yeah.
My application letter because I know there's someone listening right now. I actually had a talk with a few girls yesterday, and they were talking about a place where they're working and they're just not seeing the result. And I'm like, how long have you been there? 1 year, 2 years. That time, guys. I'm giving myself this time, and if there's no change, but also apply yourself. Don't just say I'm giving myself this time.
All right.
So obviously, my application How did you know that I have to stay here? What happened? Were you not getting accepted with these applications or? Okay.
I remember there's another time when I said to my boss, because the nature of my job into that somebody who replaces me. I was going to go I said to him, there is during the era 2008, 2009, but I'm a trillionaire. You remember that era?
That's when I moved to SA.
So I said to my boss, this is a great replacement because then I come to because then my father had retired. And it was a very difficult time. So he came to me in a newspaper, I advertised. So today, apply. I I'll apply. My brother called me. Newspaper and get yes, it was an NGO because then the teacher got US.
Yes.
And then my father called me. And all of a newspaper, I applied. I didn't get a reply. And then about a year or so later, I got a call from a colleague who was at that place. And Sha, if any opportunities come to Akabudabas, will let me know. We've been retrenched, 600 of us. First in, last in, first out. Becky, Nakachim.
See God's protection right there.
Becky, Nakachim. Mary, you knew. I have tried. Second, don't try to know the Lord has kept me. This is what I say. So I started off in the accounts department, right, as an intern, and then I because really we're not staying to university, but I realized that they had a program whereby you could study while you're working. So I stayed with them, right, and then I was promoted to do salaries, and then the salaries were reporting to the FD. Finance director. Then the salaries department was transferred to human resources. So ndaka transfer wow.
So did you have to then further your studies in the HR?
Yes, I do to further my studies in the HR department. And then after that was again 2009, 2010 when I did my master's degree. I think that I hit a plateau whereby I wasn't going up the corporate ladder.
Right.
And my dad was worried. You have a master's degree. How come you're not going up the corporate ladder? Please talk to you. And he had always been saying, encouraging me to talk to one of my colleagues so that maybe she could help me to know how can I maybe move up the ladder because Nandri at a plateau. And it was just one of these days. So you know how it is sometimes when I tell you so they go because my father really was on the that is my dad for you.
Yeah.
And then my dad, he was promoted to glory in 2009. He passed away. So I was listening to this sermon later about my Rakabites. They used to listen to their fathers. Baba wakati do this, they would do it. Baba wakati do this, they would do it. In Mimi, why is it you don't want to listen to your fathers? My advice, I'm not
teaching you
and this man is a man of God, a popular one. He was saying the Rakabites were about Jeremiah, a prophet. Why are you listening to me? My advice, I'm not I started saying to myself, by the way, Baba, but okay, you'd say, please contact this colleague, talk to her. Professionally, I could say, you've hit a plateau, you've stayed there for too long. So, she called me instead. Please come over.
Right.
I'm on leave. So we went to that. You know what? This is what Dad was saying before he was promoted to glory, before he passed away. This is what he was saying. Mukoma, what profession do you need? You are a natural counselor. You don't need any other profession. You're a natural counselor. Develop yourself in counseling.
Oh, wow.
So I did. So, when the time comes, you get my confirmations from a lot of people, right? And then one youth as well from our church, Mama, I want to do counseling. I want to go with you. And the true register counseling. And you'd get all the information from me. So it was right at the same time. Then Kubasa, as I'm in the HR department, retirement counseling. As you all know that retirement package now, you could supplement. Because of our economy, people lose value and all. So we have to think of alternative investments, quit our retirement. And so time you're free. From 8 to 4:30 or 5, you are at work. Saying to me, you're at home at 7 or even at 6. What are you doing from 7 p.m. to while Norara?
I'm resting, I'm sleeping.
You're resting, you're sleeping.
I'm cleaning my room.
And every day. So those hours, free to
use them for something.
And then you say, what? And in a capital. So monetize your natural talent.
Talk to us.
Yes, monetize your natural talent. Then we think, you think I'm doing this a or what? And I was actually asked, what is Les Brown being paid for? What is Oprah Winfrey being paid for?
That's the interview.
Yes, monetize your talent. So this is exactly what I did. You are a good counselor. Monetize that counseling talent. God gave it to you. And I was given that parable of my talents. Yes. Yeah. Somebody was given 5 talents. And it says akaita mindu, aka hustler. And he got another 5. The other one got 2. right? According to your strength. So we all have different talents. You see, our problem is tajara pazvinhu mahara, Becky. Nzimbe. Tozoti mbeu yenzimbe ndiye mahara unopa vanhu. Vamwe vari kuitengesa ana sitcom ndevei. Mbeu yembambaira tajara kuti mbeu mbambaira. Ndipo mbeu yembambaira. Vamwe they are selling those sweet potato vines. Vachita mari. And do you know kutotengesa mbeu yembambaira? Zvine mari kutopfuura mbambaira yacho. But tiri busy kutsvaga capital. Yes, we have natural things that the Lord gave us, like that weed akabvunzwa. What do you have?
What do you have?
It was a little oil. But she was blessed from that little oil. So I'm saying to somebody today, what talent do you have? Talent yako inayo. Tejera murukwa msoro kana uri mnadu gono murukwa msoro ama dzinongwa andikona nurukwa mahara. Monetize your talent. Yes, kune vamwe vemahara, asi kune vamwe vechifuti vemari because Mwari wants us to balance. Zvimwewo zvemahara, zvimwewo zvemari so that it's God's way yavakaita kuti tuve tinorarama. So that's why so this information all came at the same time. Monetizing my talent. You are a natural counselor, develop yourself. And I did.
Oh wow. You know, I'm listening to you and I'm like, yeah, I think my day is done. Isisa Noyo, sorry, on Facebook. Thank you so much for letting us know that you are tuned in. Tembi Nkosi, thank you so much for tuning in. Then we've got Tembi Moyo also in Bulawayo, who says, Becky, looking good, great conversation. Thank you if you're watching on Facebook. Thank you. We've got Mrs. Tendai A. Piri, who is our She Diaries guest. And this woman, oh my goodness, guys, I feel like I'm going to, book myself for a session here. When you are doing marriage counseling or the whole marriage therapist, as a marriage therapist, how do you separate work issues and what is happening at home?
Okay, so marriage counseling, let me say marriage counseling here better stand out, Becky, because of my affiliation to TIMFA, the Institute for Marriage and Family Affairs.
Right.
I train people to be marriage and family counselors, but otherwise in my training I did all the various training courses. I also did grief counseling. I did the basic counseling.
So you have a bit of knowledge about the different types of counseling.
Yes, the different types of counseling. And with TIMFA, I also did mental health and addiction counseling. So just looking at HR, that's a people's platform, isn't it?
Dealing with people.
Yeah, I'm dealing with people. So imagine that quality. How was I going to deal with them? I'm dealing with people who have issues. So it complements my work. It complements my work. But then, as I alluded to earlier on, when you're monetizing your talent, it's after work. We're doing it part time. Remember that time from 6 to 7. And I don't go on TV. And 6 to 7. Usually I train people online. This is the beauty about TIMFA. And something that also came up as a result of COVID. My trainings are online and I train across the globe. At any one time when I'm training that month, I'm in 25 countries that I'm training. Like currently I'm training Mumarku Australia, Mumarku Canada, Mumarku South Africa, and Mumarku Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe, Kushurugwi, Mumari.
And all you have to do is plug in your laptop, sit
yes, on Zoom. And then I'm doing so I'm doing that after work. And then when it comes to weekends, it's during the week during the weekend. So I'm doing that part time.
Okay.
Yeah.
As a marriage counselor or marriage therapist, Anzina Hilaria Kadufa, or is it Kadufa? I hope I pronounced it correct. And I'm really learning. It's great. Wow, I'm also learning. I feel like you should have come Kudara, but anyway, you are here now. As a marriage counselor or a marriage therapist, do you ever get asked how your own marriage is doing? And what qualifies you to be a marriage therapist? Do you ever get people who ask that kind of question?
People do ask that kind of question. They do ask. For me, the Lord led me to walk on a path where He trained me. He made me to cry first before I wiped other people's tears. And 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 3 to 4 speaks of me. Because affliction is there. It says the God of all comfort, who comforts us in all our afflictions.
Right.
Why? Right? So, for every affliction, when you read 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 3 to 4, for every affliction, there is all comfort. But our problem is, we constantly look at the affliction, dissect it, depression, anxiety, mentally.
Because we're focusing on
but all comfort is there, Becky. I'm here, Becky. I'm here. All comfort is here. Why? Why me? Why me? It's all going well for them. Why me? Verse 4b says, so that you may be able to comfort others.
Yeah. I think there's a scripture like that in Luke also where Jesus says to Peter, I pray that your faith doesn't fail you so that you can be able to strengthen your brethren. I remember I went through a phase in my life that I was just switch off the light, let's go. Because and then I came across that scripture. So absolutely.
And also for marriage counseling, I think also it was actually a calling, because Pamwe training course. I remember on the last day I'd done SMA courses, IPAPO, grief counseling, HIV and AIDS, and everything. And amongst that package, marriage counseling. But marriage counseling, I remember my lecturer, I'm going to please, it's a package, this about food, this is my elder, please. Because I saw the wide gap. Most of the men and women of God have not been trained in marriage counseling, Becky.
And then, but they are counseling people in the church.
We just say they're coming to you. No me just say. And most because of Usazia Bekiga, most of the times we resort to fasting and praying. It's very good fasting and praying, but James says faith without works is dead. So to our praying and yes, our praying and fasting, kosha, but Sowing You is one of my favorite writers in counseling. IT during his early years as a pastor. Church, Pastor, please pray for me. Hansi, yes, I prayed for him. The following morning, road. Ekano ditch papa duze pamba park. But if fish nuro chibulitsa munhu yanga zvikanda meme akomita suicide.
Munhu angana matiro.
Hands, I knelt down, ndikati Mwari. He is a pastor. Please make me a counselor. We don't know it all. We need to be trained. We need to be trained. Because when I thank for marriage counseling, I really cried. Imagine it's you talk about no better one. Because name a fees yes, Mari. I'm going to bless because there is a gap. So this is why I say the Lord made me to cry first, because I needed that help. But the say, little did I know Tumari was making me to be one. This is exactly what I got from Timber. And Kuvanda joined a team for Becky out in Damari from 2020. That's when I started. So 2001 and 2022 and this year 2023, I've been getting my awards of best. Yes, of best lecturer of the year.
Absolutely. Well, you sound like
so. I teach marriage with passion, because I know kunzoko vashoma vakatrainwa in marriage counseling. Other counselings, yes.
At what age do you think marriage counseling should start? Before you get married, while you're married, after a divorce? Like, should I try it out and then fail and then go for counseling? Like, at what age? Should I start talking to my kids right now about marriage? You
know what, Becky? Tikaenda kuchikoro, vane chikoro totanga kutodzidziswa. Zvimwe zvinhu zvatikuti taboo. Takundwa na Maiva Moses. Maiva Moses knew kuti she only has Moses up to pavarongomita win off ovatenda kuna Pharaoh's daughter. Vachiri kumuyamwisa Maiva Moses ndopavanga vari busy kudzidzisa Moses. Iwewe, you are not an Egyptian, you are a Hebrew. Achiri kuyamwa Hebrews 11:25 tozorenga kuti Moses akura akaramba kunzi mwana komana womukundi waFarao. Akati zviri nani pakuritambudzika nevanhu vaMwari pakuvavarira zviri nguva duku. Hapana nguva inonzi iyi. And I actually start, like with the program Yandina, it teaches my young adults. They are actually my class. They need to learn mistakes that we did. Like to know who they are. Most of us, we don't even know our life assignments. We don't even know you know, when you don't know where you're going, wherever
the wind blows, you're
exactly, you're there. And like when we're talking of mental health, zvinhu zviri kuitika, ma-stresses of life ari kuitika, right? But when you don't know when you are going, where you are going, zvinokukuvadza zvokukanganisa wofunza kuti mushe ndingozvipedza upenyu hwangu. But when you know kuti you have a dream, you have a life assignment, like Joseph, he knew, even kutengeswa wakaita mabrothers akasvika kumutambudza, even paakakandwa mujeri nemukadzi waPotiphar zvinambomutambudza, because he knew that God doesn't lie. Right. This dream is going to be fulfilled one day. So it starts right from when you are uchiri mwana mudiki, uri young. Yes, une matauriro aunoita, and then as young adults as well, because there are 7 steps to courtship.
Okay.
7 steps. But who knows about that? Do you know we have Chikoroche driving? We just get married. We have Chikoroche driving. We have my professional courses trained, but nobody teaches people about marriage. Yet it's so important. So it needs to be taught. Any age, especially for my young adults. Now, like Nichidilane used to know, damage inenge yatoitika already. And then kwakuchizenda anzi kuswatanza mambaira yako yakabenda, it's impossible. So the earlier the better.
The earlier the better. 4 minutes to 1 o'clock. We're about to wrap up this She Diaries interview. I've got questions coming through about how people can get a hold of you. So if you could just let us know where to find you. That it is well, God will strengthen you.
Thank you very much. They can contact me on WhatsApp, and may I stress WhatsApp, because then at least I'll reply the messages after hours. WhatsApp 0772.
All right.
0772 781 209. I'll repeat the number again. 0772 781 209. That's my number.
All right, 0772 781 209. 0772 781 209. All right, there was a song that you had requested, but I'm just
no, it's all right. I understand.
I'm sure when I get it, whether you've left or not, we are going to play it.
Wow.
Because you were just absolutely amazing, and you're a woman, and we love women on a Wednesday. We crush on lots and lots of women. So today you definitely are our She Diaries woman crush, and we want to just say thank you for coming through and sharing the information that you shared with us. I know I, for one, I've taken down a few notes, and I'm just thinking to myself, okay, which one is attainable at this point? Like, what's the lowest hanging fruit? And that I won't stress myself and be like, 4:13 but waking up early, I've discovered waking up early, the day just goes better. It does go better. I'm a midnight prayer someone.
All right. No, so you start your day early. Even this is why I resorted to
I can sleep late. I can sleep late. Not a problem.
Yeah. Even now, I struggle. They're at 12 midnight. It will be maybe my 2, 3, 4.
And so you might as well.
My whole day.
You might as well just do 4:30.
I might as well.
Yeah.
So you choose what works for you.
Okay.
Yeah, you choose what works for you.
Absolutely. So as we close up the interview, Madam Tendai, what keeps Tendai going?
What keeps me going? One, I have accountability partners, quite a number of them. Like now I'm working with a mindset coach. So that keeps me going. And also my children. I want the best for my children and my siblings. And also I know that, as I already said that, there's a gap out there for marriages. Most marriages are perishing for lack of knowledge. So that keeps me going. I want to help as many as I can. That keeps me going. Thank you.
Alrighty. So as long as you are living within your passion and within your calling, you feel fulfilled. You feel like, man, I've done well.
Yeah.
I've done great.
Yeah,
I've done great. Any word of advice for the people listening, whether it's a man or a woman? Any word of advice?
Any word of advice? You have a life assignment before you have a wife or let me put it, spouse assignment. Know your life assignment, and it will lead you to the right spouse and to your right calling. That's all from me. Thank you very much, Becky, for this splendid opportunity.
Oh, it was such a pleasure. It was such a pleasure. I'm sure I'm going to have you back again. I'm looking for a segment segment. This was absolutely amazing. It is Capital 100.4 FM. The name is Becky K, and we just spoke to Tendai A. Piri, who is a family therapist, a marriage therapist, a marriage counselor, and amongst many other hats, she's a woman of purpose. She was our She Diaries guest. It is 1 o'clock. Stand by for the news.